Central to the understanding of cmake is a solid understanding of make. Here we have a makefile, and through the syntax of the makefile we can express dependency and how to build those dependencies. And at the heart of the makefile is the hard disk, the hard drive, and the timestamp of the files in the hard drive. So the makefile use the timestamp, the clock, the timestamp of the file when a file is rewritten in the hard disk in order to decide when to rebuild. So if the timestamp of helper.c is newer than the timestamp of prog.c, then it will cause a rebuild of prog.c. Helper.c is newer because probably you made an edit to this file, and because of the rule of the makefile, we can deduce that indeed if the components of the program, if one of its components has a newer timestamp in the hard disk, then it has to rebuild in order to pick the updates of its recipe. So that's a very simple rule. The hard disk and the time of the files as it appears in the hard disk. This is the heart of the makefile. Now, let's turn to cmake. In cmake, you have to, things are a little bit different. We lose the strong concept of the time or sequence. So to understand cmake, we have to relive and we have to find that particular logic in cmake that preserves the essence of the make. It will be hard to understand cmake if we will not go back to the principle of sequence and dependency of the make. We can memorize keywords and this and that, but if we lose our track of what really is the essence of a build system, then it will hinder one's understanding of the cmake. So how can we express a dependency in cmake? Just like how a dependency is expressed in a make. So in this cmake, the root folder has cmake list.txt, and there's another folder, stuff, which also has another cmake list.txt. This is the main cmake. It says here that we copy this file to this destination, and somehow this file here is created by the other project here. So to express this dependency is through add subdirectory in cmake. This is a linear sequence of time that everything happens here first. Then once everything here is completed, then cmake continues here downward. So you have to do everything inside this folder in order that the expectations below are satisfied. In cmake, there are pre-built variables, and this is the confusing part for beginners. And you have to memorize some of these variables. For example, this one, this is not just your ordinary variable. You cannot name this in any way. This has to be this way. This is also a special function in cmake. This is built in, and so is this one. So cmake has a makefile in adrenaline. It has functions and it has variables. In fact, this one is also a built-in keyword. So that's it. Now if we go inside the stuff, and this is how the stuff rules satisfies the other requirement. It created a file with this content using this variable. Now the style of cmake is that it does not write anything into its own folder. Everything that it writes a separate directory. And this is a nice feature so that each build will be different. In the world of configure, the .o files are written in the root folder. And if you cross-compile to different architectures, then you have to clean this .o in order to have a clean build. In cmake, it's an improved one because everything is written separately in the directory. So you have to use special variables to reference these directories. So in order to build this, I have to create a new directory and go inside. And everything happens here. The rest of the folders are not messed. I have to run cmake dot. So a second concept here to grasp is when are the commands happening? Is it here in the cmake dot or in the second one? In the second one. So it does not run first, the first one, and we can see that there is a stuff folder that's created and the makefile is generated. And the file 2 is also here. Containing the file.txt. And then we ran the actual build. Or like that, which does nothing. But if you go back, everything here is clean. Because everything is written in the build file, and if we rebuild, then we can just delete the build and create another directory, the mp2, and run another cmake. And all the expected files are now here. So we can see that this became a directory, but again, that is incidental. The essence here is we were able to express a dependency.